Welcome back to my book club where we're discussing Chimamanda's Dream Count. We're on chapter 4, so let's get into the tea. And honestly, guys, at this point in the game, I can tell that Chiamaka, our primary character so far, doesn't have an identity of her own. And I can prove this, so let's get into the tea. Later on in chapter 3, so I'm going to go back a little bit to make a connection. When she's still dating Chuka, she says this when she's about to make Ukwa. She says, "How was I slipping onto this new persona like a t-shirt? I cooked from a YouTube video and laid out a surprise dinner for Chuka on my dining table. Chia, he said, lifting the lid of the Dutch oven. Where is this from? You made ukwa, baby. Thank you so much, he said. Something about his expression made me teary, how easily he was made happy, how uncomplicated his conditions for fulfillment. So in this specific passage at the end of chapter 3, it's kind of two things going on right here. We're learning just how much Chiamaka really relies on men for her identity. We saw the way she was with Darnell. Now she's cooking ukwa for Chuka. That same Chiamaka would not have cooked something so intricate for Darnell. So you can see the way she's morphing into what she feels is palatable based on the kind of guy she's with. And she does it again in chapter 4. So let's get into the tea on that. So at this point in chapter 4, Chiamaka is dating an Englishman that's white and married. Girl, you let just be doing anything. But let me connect to you this idea of Chiamaka absorbing the personality of the person that she's with. So in chapter 4, she says, "For him, I adopted a fake accent. I did not know when I did, so immersed in him and in our long talks, that soon I was saying here for here. And because I like myself saying here, I continued to say here. I think I'm just starting..." Let me say this in a British accent. "I think I'm just starting to sound like you," I said. And he said he had learned to sound posh at Oxford, but his Essex roots emerged when he said the words like mayo. That's how Essex people would have said it. Mayo, like male. There was a grandeur to his simplicity, to what he valued. He never used a thesaurus. He finished every book he started. He didn't eat fruit where it was not locally grown. I felt the weight of fate in coincidences, saw signs in our similarities. How could it not mean something that we both disliked dogs? Chiamaka, you're giving me a headache. Like, this is the kind of person that if she was my cousin, I would even tell her, what are you doing? You both dislike dogs, so now you feel like you guys are a match made in heaven or what? Delusional. Honestly, in the beginning of the book, I wanted to attribute Chiamaka with more agency over herself, but I'm clearly seeing that she's grasping at straws. She doesn't know who she is as a person. Oftentimes, she's relied on her beauty, her intelligence, and her socioeconomic status as a rich Igbo girl from a distinguished family to sort of mold and shape the kind of person she is. So you see it with every man she dates. She's a little different. She's somebody that she not really is. Does she even know who she is? Do we as the readers even know who she is? Later on in chapter 4, as she's still continuing to date the English white married man guy, she says, "He leaned in as to take the full measure of me. We looked at each other. It feels so precious." What? Everything. Yes, I said. I was falling in love. I had fallen in love. We took the same tube to the train station and then parted there. He to Essex and me to my parents' house in Buckinghamshire. Weeks passed and we grew closer, but still he hugged me and then backed away. We hadn't taken things slowly enough. Why did we always have to meet in London? Why couldn't he ask me to dinner at his? He lived not far from where he grew up, and he made it sound very far away, a long, unreachable distance. But when I checked in online, it was about 40 minutes by train. I began to worry that he was closeted. There was his slightly effeminate matter after all. He didn't have the kind of unfettered masculinity that thrust itself into the center of everything. Girl, you're not thinking with your noggin. You love a man. How, again, with the delusions and the fantasies. You love a man. You've not been to his house. Auntie. And you're in your late 30s. Chiamaka. Gini ne mebiko. If you guys know me by now, you know that the character that I resonate most with is Omeligor. Just her rawness, the way she asks questions, the way she doesn't care about what people think, it definitely reminds me of myself. And this sentence reminds me of something that I know I've said before. Oops. Anyways, it reads, "My only problem with white people is that they don't know how to shower with soap," Omeligor said. Omeligor! When white people shower in films, have you seen them use soap? They stand in the water for 2 seconds. They don't scrub the folds and holes. How can someone be clean after that? She was laughing her cackling laugh. How can we be managing a white man who doesn't use a sponge, and now on top of that, no action? This is definitely something I can say to my friends, like, girl, why are you tripping? He don't even shower that well. Leave him alone. Okay, but now back to the relationship between Chiamaka and her English man. "I'm waiting for you to ask me to come home with you," I mumbled. "Chia," he said. I looked up at him. Something spread on his face that made me anxious, as if it were a big engulfing flame that was too close. And I suddenly did not want him to say whatever he wanted to say. "What's wrong?" I asked. I'm married. His words came out in a near whisper, a secret only for me. I blankly stared. What do you mean? You're separated? But he wasn't separated. He was married, and she worked long hours in a hospital, and he went home each night to her. I wanted to tell you, and every day I didn't tell you, it became more impossible. My head felt light. I wondered what it said about my ability to see only what I wanted to see. His silence on the weekends, his vagueness about the everyday details of his life. Yes, finally! Chiamaka is seeing what I've always seen in her. Only picks and chooses the parts of a man that she wants to accept and leaves all the rest behind. She did it with Darnell when she grasped on every single straw of any random slight compliment that he gave her. And she also did it with Chuka, but if you notice, she only focused on his negative parts. Chuka actually was the kind of man that accepted her for who she was, accepted her age, her background, who she was as a person, and wanted the best for her and understood her. Yeah, he didn't talk too much, but he understood her heart to heart. Did she like that? No. She ended up breaking off the engagement with him, saying that she couldn't do it. Why? Because there wasn't a tussle. There wasn't something miscued with her and Chuka. She likes relationships with his bend. And honestly, I think that's what even helps attract her to this white man even the more. Anyways, I'm running out of time, and you guys know I love a good tea session. So let me know if you want me to go through more chapters. Okay? Okay. Bye, guys.